Hello, welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at something called Python Interactive Shell. You can go to Terminal if you're using Mac or Command Prompt in Windows and go into Python. Now, if you get this 3 greater than symbols or 3 carets, that means you are in Python Interactive Shell. What it is it lets you type Python commands and then see output immediately. So you don't really have to type up a Python program file, save it in an extension called .py. So all Python programs or scripts are saved in files that have an extension .py. You don't have to create those files and then execute them to see the output. In the interactive shell, you see the output immediately. So this really helps in learning the basics when you're starting with Python, because you immediately see the output, which just helps in learning faster. So the simplest thing that you can do in the shell is type any number or anything, right? And then, so I typed 34 and pressed enter, and 34 came as the output. So in the shell, if you type something, the feedback is immediately given to you. In this case, we just typed up a number. Now, you can also do calculations. So you can actually use this as a calculator. So I can do 3 plus 4 gives you 7. And I put space before and after the plus, but you don't really have to. But if you put spaces, it just makes it more readable. But the output is the same. Python doesn't really care if you have spaces there or not. So you could do all types of calculations. So same with subtraction, multiplication you do with the asterisk or star, and then division is the slash. So if I do 3 divided by 4, it gives you a decimal quotient, right? It's the decimal output. Now if I don't want the decimal, I just want the integers part of it. So let's do first 4 by 3. It gives you 1.333. So that's the result of the division. Now if I just want the integer part of it, all you do is put 2 slashes and then 3. So now you get only 1 back. Now there is also another operator called modulus. So that's the percentage sign. So if we do 4%3, what I'm getting back here is the remainder. So if you divide 4 by 3, the remainder is 1. So this slash gives you the result in floating point or decimal. This gives you the integer result of the quotient, and this gives you the remainder. Now you can also chain commands together. So you can do 3 plus 3 minus 1. Sorry, I had extra space there. 3 plus 3 minus 1, 5. So I started with the space and Python didn't like it. So what I said earlier is if you put spaces before and after the operator, that doesn't matter. But when you're starting the command, you didn't like the space. Now, if you do 3 plus 3 multiplied by 4, what would be the output? Would it be 3 plus 3, 6, 6 multiplied by 4, 24, or 3 into 4, 12, plus 3, 15? Let's see the output. So you got 15. So this is where the precedence comes in. Some operators have a higher precedence than some others. Multiplication and division always takes precedence over subtraction and addition. So in this case, for this, the multiplication was performed first. So 3 into 4, 12. And then the addition was done. 12 plus 3, 15. So that's how precedence works. There is a whole big list of table of precedence of operators. But if you don't want to confuse yourselves or people reading your programs, right, if you want them to be confused about how it's done or how the calculation was intended to be performed, you can use parentheses or brackets to force it. So in this case, if I wanted the addition to be done first, then I could have done 3 plus 3 and then multiplied by 4. So if you have parentheses, then that takes precedence. So in this case, you get the output of 24 because the addition was done first. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So although the precedence can be kind of memorized or whatever and used in the programs, using parentheses is always better because that makes the program more readable. And if you write the program and somebody else is reading the program, having the parentheses there is going to be very useful for them to immediately know how the calculation was coded or intended to be performed, instead of just looking through a list of numbers or values and operators to figure it out. Parentheses just makes it more readable. So I highly recommend using parentheses if there are multiple operations going on to clearly specify what order that needs to be performed. So that's basically what I wanted to show about the interactive shell. We're going to use this interactive shell in the next few videos to learn some other basic concepts. So we're going to see more of it. But at this point, this is the Python interactive shell. I really recommend and encourage you to kind of play with this, give different types of operations and see the output, because the shell is a beautiful tool when you're getting started with Python to learn how different operations work. Thank you. See you in the next one.